Alright, hello. This is a breakdown on my beetle weight shuffler robot, the Wall. It's competed twice now and gotten a second place finish at its second event that it competed at. And let's get into it. Beginning with the motor mount. This is what everything on the assembly is going to attach to, basically. It has driving the entire shuffler pod, a 1000 kV motor with an 11-tooth pinion, and holes for standoffs on the top right here to sandwich the entire robot together. Let's move this up to the top. The next part of the shuffling system are the gears. These are 3D printed out of alloy 910 nylon with bearings pressed into either side for smoothness on the actual bolt that it runs on. Reduces friction. The goal of these version of the shuffler was to reduce as much friction as possible, because the first version of it, friction welded itself together. And then next, on the cams, we're going to place these. These are 37 or 35 millimeter OD bearings. They make the robot drive very smoothly, but they do add quite a bit of weight. It's like 260 grams just in bearings for both drive sides. So that's definitely a way to make this robot spark legal. We'll be removing the bearings. I have already started on that over here. It's still a work in progress, but it seems to work all right. So hopefully this robot will be spark legal eventually. Then on these cams, on the bearings at least, we're going to place these feet. These are all TPU, 100% infill, 100% infill with 4 walls, I believe, and a piece of titanium for the cleats. Cleats are those held on with 3 pretty small M4 screws. It's definitely not the best way to keep it on, especially on TPU. Probably should use plastites, but it's been working for now. That just presses right over here. Next one, we're going to place the second set of cams. There's 3 sets in total on this robot. So since this is the left drive side, I'm going to place these pointing to the left on the bottom. And that will get both drive sides to be mirrored and have it so the outermost leg touches first, followed by the inner, and then the one over here. At least if I remember right, if that's what happens. Allows for the robot to drift a little bit, which is kind of fun. Next, the bearings go right over top again, followed by the leg part. And then the very last set of cams go right on here, making sure I get the right ones in the right orientation, just like that. All the cams are the same, all identical, all the legs are identical, so it makes it so spare parts are pretty easy to print. You can just print however many I need. And there's no specific ones I have to print for each different one, which is very nice. So those just go right on there. And finishing it up, this is the completed assembly for one leg side with the cams and legs. They run very smoothly. I like them a lot, but this weighs quite a lot. Moving on, we bring in the guard. The guard is what helps hold everything together. It's less a guard and more of a brace. I have big armor panels that will protect this, but this is just a piece of PLA Pro or PLA Plus. It's not intended to take hits. I really hope it doesn't. I would print it out of nylon, but I have not been able to successfully do that yet. I've had issues with it being too thin and not wanting to adhere to the bed. So this is where we're at. Let's move these up to the side. On these bolts here, these are pretty long M4 bolts, or M5 bolts, not M4. Not sure the actual length. You can definitely make them shorter. I should make them shorter, but I haven't bothered yet. And then the washers just go on either side, right here. And then we're going to take these full shufflers full cam assembly at least. Slide those right on. Making sure they all go on, and then follow it up with 2 more washers, just for spacing. That's what that looks like from the top. We're going to take the leg over here, well, the motor mount, going to slide it on. I'm just going to hand tighten this for now, coming back with a driver to get that in better. Sometimes they like to just push on. This one doesn't really want to. It's a little bit of a tricky point is getting this all lined up. Normally it lines up by itself just due to the tolerances being pretty tight with those bearings, which is a nice part about using the bearings in here. And it seems to work right now. Give it a little test. Oh yeah, it's going real smooth. Perfect. Alright. Take a square nut, feed down the back, tighten that right up. Come get a driver just to finish it off, get it to the right tightness. I will come back and Loctite these, obviously, just to make sure nothing gets torn out and goes flying around inside the robot. I have had these square nuts loosen up and go flying around the robot and destroy weapon motor for the actual hammer arm. That was not fun. I learned my lesson there. So now I thoroughly Loctite those and I haven't had an issue since. Alright, this is the completed assembly for the shuffler. Alright, here we have the completed shuffler. It's pretty sturdy. It will have additional screws holding it together on the outside. We have one that screws in through the main bulkhead, and then 2 that screw in to hold on the back and as well as the big armor panel that goes around the side here. But you'll see that in a future video as I keep continuing to build the wall. Thank you for watching.